Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the Practical English Brain and welcome to the special academic writing program. Uh, we already have one lesson, one video about academic writing. And as I said in that video, if your sentences are not punctuated correctly, according to academic writing, your paragraph or the essay that you write will not be correct. So punctuation is one of the most important rules for academic writing. Today in this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to punctuate your sentences correctly. And it's not going to be just for formal or academic writing. The punctuation that I'm teaching you today will be for both formal and informal writing, because we need to, punctuate our sentences, even if it's not like academic writing, even if it's not like, a part of the most formal writing. Still, we need to punctuate our sentences. But I'll be explaining, each case. While talking about these punctuation marks, I'll be telling you that, this is the case which is related to formal academic writing, and this is the case which is related to informal or just normal writing. So let's begin with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is very kind and merciful. Let's begin. So the first sentence says she learns English language. And at the end of this sentence, we have a period or dot or full stop. There are different terms. You can call it a period, a dot, or full stop. And we use full stop at the end of affirmative, positive, or declarative sentences. So if a sentence does not have the word not in it, it is affirmative or declarative sentence. And what do we use at the end of declarative sentences? Commonly we use a dot. There's another case that we're going to talk about later, but commonly we use dot or period, okay? Now, it could be a negative sentence. She learns English language. She does not learn English language, or she doesn't learn English language. And then again, a period or dot. This is the punctuation mark for affirmative sentences and for negative sentences, okay? Number two. Does she learn English? Now, if you have yes, no question or interrogative sentence, if you have a negative interrogative sentence, if you have an information question, if you have a tag question, which punctuation mark do you use at the end? Question mark. Question mark. So, does she learn English? Question mark. Okay? So, does she not learn English? Question mark. Doesn't she learn English? Question mark. She learns English, doesn't she? Again, you need a comma before if it's a tag question. The example comes over here, but I just wanted to say that. So, sentence number three. I have a good news for you. And then exclamation mark. Okay? Keep in mind that we use exclamation mark after most of the interjections. And there are a few examples at the end of this lesson. But we do not use interjections or exclamatory sentences in academic writing. In academic writing, try to avoid using, interjections or these kind of sentences. Understood? For example, you write your resume. It's also a kind of academic writing. It's formal writing. So you do not write these kind of sentences, what a great candidate I am for you, and then exclamation mark, okay? So I've told you before in the previous lesson that in academic writing, you should avoid contractions, reductions, and using interjections in exclamatory sentences. So what is an exclamatory sentence? If you read a sentence, and it gives you a sudden feeling, such as excitement, anger, joy, nervousness, sadness, okay, surprise, that is exclamatory sentence. And you need exclamation mark at the end of those kind of sentences. Don't forget. As soon as you read a sentence and it gives you a certain feeling, you should know that you need to use exclamation mark at the end of that kind of sentence. So I have a good news for you. What do you think if I said this to you? Doesn't it give you a kind of certain feeling? Kind of like maybe surprise, maybe kind of, excitement, okay? Or if somebody tells you that I have a bad news for you, of course, you suddenly become nervous or sad or, right? So I hope it's clear. I mean, whenever you read a sentence and it gives you a certain feeling, that is exclamatory sentence and you need exclamation mark. Okay, this is one case. The other cases are coming later. Number 4, he is very smart, isn't he? So here, I already told you about the question mark, but the point is comma over here. Actually, I forgot to say this, that in this lesson, we'll be working on the most common punctuation marks in English language. Dot or period, period, question mark, exclamation mark, and commas. Most of the sentences are related to the usage of comma, because comma is commonly used in many cases. And a lot of English students, I'm talking about those students who are trying to improve their writing skills in English language, have problem with the usage of comma, okay? So number 5, last week he went abroad. Last week he went abroad. Here's the point. If you want to use any word before your subject in a sentence, there must be a comma before, your subject and after that word. So now if you say he went abroad last week, no comma. If you take this time expression to the end of your sentence, you do not need any comma. So it could be a time expression, it could be adverb of place. Okay, for example, I went to Mazar Sharif and I visited a lot of my relatives over there. So instead of, last week, I say, in Mazar Sharif, comma, I visited a lot of my relatives. So in Mazar Sharif, what is that? It is adverbial or prepositional phrase or, adverb of time, okay? It's adverbial because there's a preposition in it, okay? Or for example, tomorrow morning, comma, I'll be visiting my new, boss, for example, okay? So keep in mind that if you bring a time expression or adverb of place or any other word, any other sort of, adverb, before your subject in a sentence, that sentence could be simple, it could be compound, it could be complex, it could be compound complex. You need a comma before a subject. Don't forget this. It's very important. You got the point? Yeah. And what is the purpose of bringing, time expression or adverb of place before the subject in a sentence? Nobody's asking me that. Why do we do that? Most commonly, the time expression goes to the end of a sentence, as well as adverb of place, right? But if you bring that at the beginning of your sentence, it will be more emphasizing, okay? It somehow emphasizes the idea of doing something, whatever the action could be in your sentence. Okay, number 6, I bought some books, pens, and markers. Look, if you bring 2 items in a simple sentence, okay, you do not need any comma. For example, I bought some books and pens, no comma, okay? I teach English and go to university. Again, 2 items, 2 verb phrases, right? No comma. He is smart and intelligent, 2 items. By item, I mean words. I mean like nouns or pronouns or adjectives or adverbs or verbs or verb phrases or noun phrases. Okay, so if you bring 2 items in your sentences, you do not need a comma. As soon as you bring more than 2 items, you need commas. You need commas. So there's just one example over here, but I want to give you some more examples so to clarify the idea over here. So books, noun, pens, noun, and markers, noun. So you need, okay, a comma after the first item, books, a comma after the second item, okay. Actually, this comma, which comes before conjunction, while bringing a list of items in a sentence, could be optional. Even if you don't use it, it's not a problem. But if it's academic writing, try to use it. Okay, it's more academic to use it. But even if you don't use it, it's still okay, it's still correct. So I hope you got the point. Now these are nouns. You can bring adjectives, a list of adjectives, a list of verbs, a list of adverbs. Okay. So as soon as you want to bring more than two items, you need commas between the two items. Okay. For example, last night he was watching TV, comma, drinking tea, comma, and thinking about his tomorrow's plans. Okay? So now here we have three verbs. Okay? Number 7, he went to a hospital for he was sick. Don't forget that you need a comma in compound sentences. And what kind of sentences? Compound sentences. I'm not teaching you these grammatical points. I'm just giving you the instructions here, okay? So fanboys conjunctions are used in compound sentences. For is one of them, one of those fanboys conjunctions. Now, if you have but, if you have and, if you have so, all of these fanboys conjunctions in compound sentences, while you are trying to combine two independent clauses or two simple sentences, you need to use a comma before these conjunctions, okay? As well as when you're trying to combine two simple sentences using paired conjunctions, both and, neither, nor, either, or, not only, but also. Again, you need a comma before the first part of your paired conjunction. I hope you got this point, okay? And there's one exceptional case. If the two sentences that you're trying to combine with these fanboys conjunctions are well balanced and they're very short, in that case, this comma might not be used. You may not use it in that case. Otherwise, try to use a comma before fanboys conjunctions in compound sentences. Number 8, if you study hard, you will pass the exam. So this is a complex sentence. What kind of sentence? A complex sentence. In complex sentences, you use adverb clauses, adjective clauses, and noun clauses. Okay? So the general rule for complex sentences, whenever, like here you have two clauses. If you study hard, it is your adverb clause of condition, and you will pass the exam. That's your main clause or independent clause. If you bring the independent clause first in your sentence and the conditional clause secondly, you do not need a comma, okay? So there are 7 types of conditional clauses, and this is the general rule for all conditional clauses. Adverb clauses, not conditional clauses. There are 7 types of adverb clauses: adverb clause of time, adverb clause of place, adverb clause of supposition, concession, adverb clause of condition, okay, adverb clause of reason and result, right? So there are like 7 common types of adverb clauses. So keep in mind that whenever you want to bring your adverb clause first in your complex sentence, you must use a comma right before the main clause starts. So I brought just 2 types of adverb clauses: adverb clause of condition and adverb clause of time. Before he came here, adverb clause of time, it comes first in this complex sentence. What do you need? You need a comma, and then the independent clause or the main clause should be brought after that, okay? So you should do the same thing with all adverb clauses. Whenever you want to bring your adverb clause first in your complex sentence, you need a comma in the middle of your sentence. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. Number 10, Jamal, who is a smart boy, is my friend. Again, I'm not teaching you this. I've told you that before coming to this special academic writing program, your grammar should be strong enough. you should have already studied advanced grammar. I'm not teaching you these grammatical points. I'm just telling you, I'm just giving you the instructions, you know. Why? Because later on, when we start writing academic paragraphs, you need these points. You need to be able to punctuate your sentences correctly. Okay? So, Jamal, who is a smart boy, is my friend. Here, who is a smart boy is your adjective clause. We need one comma before adjective clause, one comma after adjective clause. Why? Because this is a non-restrictive or non-defining adjective clause. Okay, if somebody doesn't know what a non-restrictive adjective clause is, please self-study or go to YouTube to our channel. There are many other channels. I mean, there are a lot of great teachers out there on YouTube. Okay, and just find restrictive and non-restrictive adjective clauses. Find this title and try to learn what they are. I mean, restrictive and non-restrictive adjective clauses. So the point is that if you have a non-restrictive or non-defining adjective clause in a complex sentence, and the adjective clause comes in the middle of your complex sentence, you need one comma before your adjective clause, one comma after your adjective clause. Okay, if the adjective clause comes at the end of your complex sentence, if it comes after the main clause, then you need only one comma, not two commas. Number 11, he has many brothers, most of whom are smart. Again, it is a complex sentence, and we have used adjective clause, most of whom are smart. And when we use adjectives of quantity, most of, some of, a lot of, many of, a few of, much of, a little of, okay, we need a comma before using the adjective clause. If you have the adjectives of quantity in your adjective clauses, like, here, most of whom, a lot of whom, some of whom, many of whom, okay, or most of which, or a lot of which, or you need a comma before your adjective clause, okay, in a complex sentence. Number 11. Number 12. Jamal, one of the best teachers, teaches us English. So now, actually, if you have learned adjective clauses, it is the reduction of adjective clause. But according to grammar, it is also called a positive. It is called a positive. The information over here between two commas is extra information about this person, Jamal. According to grammar, you may call this information a positive. Okay? So now, when the subject comes before a positive in the verb form, this is the verb form and this is the subject, right? Okay? When the positive or the extra information comes between the subject and the verb form, you need two commas, one comma before this extra information, one comma after this, okay, and then the verb form. And also subject-verb agreement. A lot of English learners make mistakes when it comes to subject-verb agreement, because the subject is all the way here and the verb is over there, right? Okay, there is a positive or there is extra information. So we have a noun at the end of this a positive, right? And a lot of English learners think that here I need the subject-verb agreement. So teachers, it's a plural noun. So instead of teaches, okay, I should be using teach. So this is the subject-verb agreement. No, okay, the subject-verb agreement. This verb belongs to, and it's singular, right? It's singular, so that's why teach is. Understood? But if the positive comes first and the subject comes after the positive, this extra information, in that case you need one comma. And there is no any confusion, okay, for those who haven't studied advanced grammar, okay? So now this is Jamal subject in verb form. So it's a singular subject. So the verb, should take S or E as if it's simple present tense. I hope it's clear, right? Okay, so one of the best teachers, Jamal, teaches us English. Clear? Number 14, he came late, therefore the teacher fined him. Look, In English language, we have some words in phrases which are called transitional words or phrases. Again, it's a part of the most advanced grammar, and if some of you don't know what transitional words and phrases are, please self-study, step 4, okay, or go to our channel, Practical English Brain. There are a lot of lessons about transitional words, about adjective clauses, adverb clauses, noun clauses, or there are many other English learning channels. There are great American teachers, so I encourage you to self-study. Okay, that's the point. Okay, watch those videos and have some extra activities in order to improve your English further. Okay, so now here, all transitional words and phrases can be used in 5 different ways in written English and 3 different ways in spoken English. Okay, so the first one, he came late, and here you have full stop. Okay, and then therefore is a transitional word. Okay, and if you stop your first sentence with a full stop with a period, you capitalize the transitional word, and then 1 comma is used after that, and then rest of the sentence. Okay, he came late, you may use, instead of a full stop, you may use semicolon or just comma. It's really up to you. You may use semicolon, it's semicolon, or just a comma, and then you don't capitalize the transitional word, and you need 1 comma after transitional word, and then the rest of the second sentence. Okay, he came late, the teacher therefore fined him. And again, it's very, very formal. Okay, so you may use the transitional word between the subject and the verb form, and 1 comma before transitional word, 1 comma after transitional word. So it's very, very formal. Okay, and he came late, the teacher fined him therefore. You may also use transitional word at the end of your second sentence, but it will not be very formal. So now if you write something academic, okay, and your composition is a part of the most academic English, then try not to use this way, when the transitional word is used at the end of the sentence, and then there's a comma before the transitional word. You may use this word just in normal kind of writing. Okay, normal writing, like a friendly letter, or something like chat or something like that. Okay, so now in all transitional words, I've brought just 1 transitional word over here, therefore, consequently, furthermore, moreover, nevertheless, nonetheless, for example, for instance, in fact, next, first, after that. Okay, these are all transitional words, and all of them can be used in these different ways. So this is how we punctuate our sentences when we use transitional words in them. Okay, and then number 18, the exam was too hard, he passed it though. When the word though is used at the end of your second sentence, okay, which means but in this case, okay, we need a comma before that word. And again, it's a part of the normal or informal written English. Understood? It's not a part of the most advanced, grammar or most formal English. So, reporting speech. Sometimes the writer is trying to strengthen his composition, so he or she brings somebody else's ideas. They quote somebody else's ideas. In that case, you need a comma between the reporting and the reported parts of your direct speech. Okay, if you're using direct speech, you need a comma before the reporting speech and the reported speech. And here you see inverted commas, or what do we call them? Inverted commas or quotation marks. So quotation marks. We use quotation marks when we bring direct speech, when we bring somebody's speech in his or her own words without any changes. Okay, so again, you may change the positions of the reported and reporting speeches. Okay, you may bring the reported speech first. I'm a good student. Instead of this dot, you need a comma, and then you say she said. Okay, understood? So that's also possible. And again, here we have interjection. But let me tell you this. See, I told you at the beginning that I'm teaching you the punctuation not only about academic writing, but also about normal writing or informal writing. It's not like all the time you only need academic writing, okay? You need academic writing. So what's academic writing? For example, you write an essay for TOEFL IBE exam, okay? Or you deal with the writing section of IELTS or TOEFL IBD. You write your own resume. It's something academic, right? You write an application, you write a petition, you write a business letter or a business email. So that's academic writing. But you write a friendly letter. You write a letter to your friend. You write a love letter. You do some kind of, chat on Facebook, right? So that is informal. That is just normal writing, okay? So I'm trying to somehow show you the differences between these two types of writing as well. But it could be any kind of writing. It's not acceptable nowadays when people chat, on Facebook. They don't punctuate their sentences at all, and they say it's okay, just chat. Even if it's Facebook chat, you still need kind of proper punctuation. Okay, you write a sentence, don't use a period at the end of your sentence if it's affirmative or negative. So again, your whole sentence is wrong. It's incorrect. Okay, you write a question and then you do not use question mark. Even if it's informal writing, still you need, some kind of punctuation, right? Okay. So try not to use interjections in academic writing. Understood? Try not to use contractions in reductions. I wanna or instead of I want to. Okay? Or I'm gonna instead of I'm going to. Or, for example, he doesn't know instead of he do not know. He does not know, sorry, okay? So is not, am not, are not, did not, have not, has not. Try to use complete forms, okay? So, and avoid using interjections in academic writing, okay? So now you write, for example, a passage about something that's not related to academic English. You may use exclamation marks, you may use interjections. But if it's a part of the academic English, then you should try to avoid using interjections in exclamatory sentences. So, but again, I'm showing it to you when you write a sentence and you use an interjection like wow, damn, for example, well, okay, there are a lot of interjections. Then most commonly we use an exclamation mark after most of the interjections, but sometimes there are a few interjections. One of them is well, we use comma after some of those interjections, okay? After most of the interjections we use exclamation mark, and after a few we use, comma. So, wow, we won the match. So it's kind of, it's something that you read it and it gives you a certain feeling. It gives you, so the certain feeling could be happiness, it could be sadness, it could be surprise, it could be anger, it could be, nervousness. And number 22, they have a three-door house. They have a three-door. Here we have a punctuation mark, which is called a hyphen. Which is called a hyphen. So when we use a compound modifier, we use hyphen between the number and between the first noun. Like we need two nouns, we need to bring two nouns next to each other, like door and house. And the first noun functions as an adjective. That's why it should be always in singular form, okay? But the structure starts over here. You talk about one house, right? So you need then number, then hyphen, then noun plus noun. But the first noun is always in singular form because it functions as an adjective. Understood? So this is how we use hyphen, and this is how we use, compound modifier as well. Finally, 23, two countries are overpopulated. What is the job of colon? you have semicolon and you have colon. The job of a colon is simple, to introduce something, okay? So like in this sentence, two countries are overpopulated, China and India. So now, colon after colon, we have brought the names of those two countries. So actually, the colon, this punctuation mark, introduces those two countries to us, okay? So I hope this much is enough, and later on you have more cases of punctuation in your books. I tried to cover most of the cases of punctuation in this lesson, but if there are even more cases, we're going to be working on those cases as well, okay, in the future, inshallah. So this much is enough for now, and everybody have a great time. Bye-bye for now.